It's so interesting. Yeah, I'm a therapist, and I hear directly and from with other colleagues, other therapists, about like the open marriage thing or open relationships. And I've heard countless stories, and every single one of them ends in a disaster. I mean, it's just this destroyed our marriage. It like destroyed the people in the marriage. But like I see all these articles in like mainstream media type stuff where it's like why the hot new thing of opening up your relationship will save it. And it's just like that is not the world I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's not. But I think that perhaps it's probably underappreciated. Maybe not by me. In some senses, it might be overappreciated by me because I just see everything as its social signaling value. And I think when you start interpreting most everything that people do and say as not actually, its function is never, probably again, that's me being a little bit absolute. It's not never, but whenever anybody says or does something, it's rarely the actual purported meaning or putative meaning that is sort of what's dictating that behavior. It's the social signaling value that is relevant. So these people are not sharing articles about polyamory because they think that this is a great new egalitarian way of viewing relationships that will make relationships last longer and everybody will get to be happy because there's just no such thing as infidelity anymore. If you're allowed to have infidelity, then how can it be infidelity? No one is doing that, I think, because they honestly, I mean, maybe some of them are sufficient. I shouldn't say no one, because I think many people are actually sufficiently duped by so much of this nonsense that there is no difference between them believing something and not believing something. The minute they hear it, they go, oh yeah. And there is just no distinction between believing and not believing. And so they'll just believe everything they hear, even things that are completely contradictory, without that creating any cognitive dissonance. But yeah, the reason why these things are being shared is not out of some, misguided virtue to try and save people's relationships. They're being shared because the social signaling value of these things is that society doesn't value monogamous relationships anymore. Happy people don't have monogamous relationships. If you want to have the kind of relationship that society celebrates, then, the one thing you don't want it is for it to be heterosexual and monogamous, because that's like, the least interesting, least celebrated, and blandest relationship that you could possibly imagine if you pay a lot of attention to the current woke sort of queering society cheer squad. So if your relationship is same sex, great. It can't produce children. We'll celebrate that. And if your relationship is completely dysfunctional, such that you don't even actually have one because there's no fidelity at all, brilliant. We'll celebrate that as well. It might produce children, but let's face it, it's going to be a train wreck. So we're okay with that. We're perfectly okay with people having children, with people having reproductive success that's just going to be a train wreck anyway. It's the really adaptive, meaningful reproductive success that they want to target. So, no children at all is ideal when looking to attack someone else's reproductive success. But children being raised in, any kind of unstable parental relationship is a pretty good second best. That's usually pretty substandard reproductive success.